Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Nick and Eli Talk at You. I am Nick, and I'm here with Eli. Eli, say hi.
Yo, what's up, what's up, what's up?
And we're doing pretty good. This is the second week in a row, so I have to give ourselves a big pat on the back for being semi-responsible. We were supposed to record yesterday, but didn't for reasons we'll talk about later. Let's see. Podcast updates. So I installed insulation in the room down here, which is pretty fun. What else? We have a new logo. We're on most of the podcast apps, six of them, I think. And so we're doing good. We're making progress. What do you think?
That's cool, man. I'm stoked.
Yeah. How was your week this past week?
Well, like I said, it's all been an episode of. I mean, like I feel like I'm in the movie fucking Groundhog Day.
Because of the quarantine?
Yeah, like it's like actually the past week has been. I don't know, for some reason it's been worse for me. I don't know why.
Huh.
Yeah, like I've been like just like this whole waking up and just wanting to go back to sleep and not be conscious. Like I just been I just been losing my fucking mind, Like I've been trying to distract myself with games and stuff, but like for some reason the last week has been bad. Like I was talking to your your dad, Edson, and he was saying he felt that way for like 2 weeks, and then he slowly got over it. But I'm like, yeah, this is I don't know why now, but for some reason now it's kind of driving me fucking insane being locked up and shit.
It's been tough. This week was fun. This week was Mariana's birthday, so I baked a cake.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, she's doing good. What else? Did like housework over the weekend. Just trying to get through the quarantine.
Yeah, but like that's funny. Like usually we pay to get our lawn, done and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we're like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So we bought a lawnmower, and I'm like, let me go out, get some yard work done, get some sun. But like, you've seen the days it's been raining.
Yeah.
And you know how you're not supposed to really cut wet grass because that clogs up the lawnmower and all that stuff. So, like the one thing I wanted to do, I haven't really been able to. So I've been waiting for like at least 2 days of direct sun, to dry up the grass so I could cut it. And so it's like everything's been driving me nuts a little bit. Everything.
So you're actually looking forward to mowing the lawn. That's like your new thing now.
Yep. I've been looking forward to being out there and like maybe like 2 hours sweating and getting some physical. I don't know. It's just this whole thing. Like I've told a million people, like I don't mind being out of work at all. Like I'm not one of those workaholic dudes that needs to be at work, but it's just the fact that I can't go anywhere. Like I even when I was out on disability before this whole coronavirus thing, I would at least twice a week I would get dressed, go with the wife to go eat to like the diner that you know of, and go to Peter Pan Diner, spend a few bucks and chill there and bullshit for a bit. Pardon me, then go shopping or whatever. But the fact that I've just been home, and then when I go shopping, I'm nervous.
Yeah. Do you wear a mask when you're out?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we have to in New Jersey. In New Jersey, all the stores, like I go to Target and Whole Foods once a week, and there's big signs that are like, you are not permitted entry if you're not wearing a face covering.
But I mean, like, it's crazy. Like, I went to go get, again, there's a spot by me called Old Fashioned Ice Cream, Long Island, by the way. They make like homemade ice cream in that spot, and they make the best Italian ice, bro.
Nice. I'll have to try it out.
It's so fucking good, dude. Like the Italian ice, the cherry is like blood red.
Yeah. Does it have like that like crystal on the bottom?
No.
That's the package ice. That's the package.
Yeah. Because it's like they have it in those big giant tubs when you go to like Baskin Robbins and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got like those, but their Italian ice is the bomb. So anyway, I've been going there like maybe once a week, and order. I went there last time. This is after they did the whole thing where they said you got to have a mask on over here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this asshole's in there ordering mad shit. Like everybody has a mask, all the employees, but he's there just like whatever. I mean,
it ruins it for everybody.
It's like, bro, like, come on now, man. Like, I've spoken to a few friends, and I've literally spoken to a friend who, this might be like a little short topic, but like I know people that died. My wife works in the field, but how do you say this is bullshit? Because you're getting hit lighter in Florida.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, but it's bullshit. It's just like a conspiracy. And I'm like, all right, brother, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can get like, my in-laws live in Arizona. In Arizona, it's like, oh, we have, 14 confirmed cases. So like I can get why it seems kind of overblown if you're in a place like that. But here, like I get updates every day from our town. I live in like a suburb of New York,
Yeah.
and we have 20 people who passed away from coronavirus. And we have like 50% of the people who are being tested in our town test positive. So it's like a real thing here.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the fact that I'm like, oh, so you're saying that those last time I checked, it was 54,000. So you're saying,
yeah,
he's saying those 54,000 are what, made up? All those bodies are not real.
yeah,
The people that I know that's died, the people that my wife is telling me about patients who have been passing away. Mind you, not all a whole shit ton, because she works in a clinic, not
yeah.
at a hospital.
Hmm.
And we are in Long Island, we're just slightly less hit, but it's been growing because I guess the people are like coming from the city. I don't know.
Well, that was one of the things. Like the rich people from New York, kind of like in March, I think it was, they would go to the Hamptons to kind of get out of the epicenter, but then they brought all of it to the Hamptons. So the East End of Long Island,
Mhm.
it doesn't have like the medical infrastructure as closer to the city. And this happened on the West Coast too. People from California, like really rich people who have vacation homes in Idaho, kind of like mountain vacation homes, they all went to Idaho to kind of flee. But then they brought the virus with them, and now these like resort areas in Idaho who only have like a clinic for if someone stubs their toe or something now have all these cases. So it's really irresponsible. I mean, I understand the wanting to get out, but it also sucks for everyone else.
Yeah, I just don't get the whole like not believing. And he was, oh, more people die from butter knives. I'm like, that's not the point, man.
Yeah,
It's not the point.
yeah,
This thing, oh, it has a 1% death rate. I'm like, it's more like 3, closer to
yeah.
3 nowadays.
And even
But
that, like
still,
one
I go,
1%, 1% of
it's a
the of
lot.
even just the U.S. population, yeah, of 300, was it 350 million? 1% of that
Yeah.
is, God, math, 3.5 million. Like
Yeah,
that's
like,
okay. I don't think that's okay.
yeah, like I was thinking, because I kind of dropped it because I was getting a little heated. I'm like, I don't want to get into a big old fight, because he is a
Yeah,
really, really good friend of mine. Like
yeah,
I love this dude like a brother. You
yeah,
know, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I kind of dropped it, but I'm like, 1% is like you just said, and to even scale it down even more, 1 out of 100, that's a lot.
yeah,
If it is that low, 1 out of 100 is a lot.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's one person who has a family, potentially kids,
yeah.
and it's like that's a lot. I don't get it. So I mean, like I said, I get the whole thing going on because he was bitching about that. That the stimulus package they're trying to work on now, the one that trying to do it for like I think this is 6 months to half a year.
Is it the small business one or the one that actually gives checks to people?
The one they're proposing a $2,000 check for everybody over the age of
Oh,
16, or
this I,
or the mortgage one that said like, oh, no, the mortgage forgiveness for 6 months to a year.
these I haven't even heard of. I've only heard of the one that was $1,200 for people with certain incomes, and then
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
small business one.
So this one is proposed for up to a year, $2,000 for everybody above the age of 16, or the same thing for for mortgage, like the mortgage forgiveness, and it will be retroactive. So because we've been paying our mortgage, so we would get whatever I think is a month or two back.
Wow, even if
And
you've
but my
made payments.
Yes, even if you make payments to give it back to you. I mean, I actually have the link somewhere. I should. I figured because you're into politics so much.
Yeah.
But like his thing was, and my thing was, I'm like, this sounds a bit dangerous financially.
Yeah.
Like I'm not into like numbers. Obviously, I'm not a statistician. I'm not into numbers. I don't know anything. But it seems like this will be like an additional probably like $4 or $5 trillion.
Yeah.
Because now it's going to reach more people because they lowered it now. Before they're saying all these conditions, and now they lowered it even more. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Like, I mean,
and
I didn't
the ages from, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say so luckily Mariana has a really good job. I have a job. We can both work from home, and so we didn't get a stimulus check, which is good. Like we don't need it. So I think if they're just giving it to everybody, that's interesting because people who need it, people who are out of a job, people who have who are dealing with recovering from coronavirus and stuff, they
Yeah.
oh, you sent the link, awesome. I will put that in the show notes. They need it, like they're going to spend it on things that they need to do, or like people, just whatever. So if they're going to give it to
Like,
everyone, that's a little interesting.
yeah, but my worry will be as far as like, financially, biting us in the ass, a year or two down the road. Like it seems like it will really fuck us up in the back.
I think we're already at that point. I think it's like you've already dug the hole in the ground. It's like, what's another foot, But I think that's another episode topic. We can go. That's a longer than 30-minute episode.
Yeah, I think so as well.
How about we take a short break? I'm going to throw in a sponsorship. So the fun thing about how podcasts have changed in the last 8 years is now all these podcast services will just give you sponsorships. And so we have a sponsorship I recorded a little ad for. So we're going to put it in here right at the break. And then after that break, we're going to talk about this week's topic, which will not be coronavirus. Hey everyone, this is Nick. You might have a lot of time on your hands, being that we're in the middle of a quarantine and all. And if you want something to do, why not start a podcast? That's what we did. The reason why was that it was so easy with Anchor.fm. Let me tell you why. Anchor is free, which we like because we don't like spending any money. It allows you to record your podcast right on your phone or on your computer with no other tools required. It distributes your podcast on all the places people get their podcasts, like Apple and Google and Spotify and tons of other places. And has everything else you need, like background music, transition music, fades, everything you would possibly need. So if you're interested in starting a podcast, I'd recommend using Anchor FM. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, thanks, Past Nick, for that advertisement. Please do check them out because the more you check them out and you check us out, then we get $15 per 1,000 impressions. Just so you know, Eli, I don't think you knew that.
Nice.
So we have to be on that social media and pimp that podcast.
Word up.
All right, so this week I want to talk about something very near and dear to both of our hearts. I want to talk about pets, Eli.
Ooh.
How about you start off by telling the listeners at home how many dogs you have?
Well, I used to have 9.
Okay.
I used to have 9. Yes, 9.
9 at the same time.
9 at the same time. Unfortunately, last year I lost my first dog, who was a Chihuahua, which everybody loved.
Jalapeno.
Yep, it was Jalapeno.
Aww.
The Tennessee for jalapeno. That's a little the story for the whole thing was I was at Crystal's, which is the equivalent of White Castle in the South.
Okay.
And we were waiting in line. There was this big gentleman wearing a trucker hat in front of us. Kind of your typical like MAGA wearing guy.
This is when you were in Clarksville, right?
I was in Clarksville, Tennessee.
So just a quick aside: if anyone goes and looks for Nick and Eli in the past, there's a 99 Lives Radio 2.0 episode that you can listen to. That we were just starting the podcast again, and that's when you were in Clarksville. So this is way back in 2012.
Yeah,
so,
way
anyway,
back.
keep going.
So like saying, so I was at the and the guy goes, let me get 6 of them little burgers. Let me get them with cheese and some jalapenos. And I'm like, oh shit! And that jalapeno always stayed in my head. So he passed away suddenly and shockingly. He just had a congestive heart failure and just died like one day to the other.
Aww.
Yeah, and then my other dog was getting a bit too aggressive. As a pit bull that we had, she was fighting another dog. She wasn't being aggressive to humans, but she was being dog aggressive. So we rehomed her, and we got really lucky. We found a gentleman whose wife had passed away the prior year, and the wife didn't want no more dogs because their last 2 dogs have passed away very slowly and painfully. And very, how much that sucks. Haven't you seen your little fur baby slowly dying? So she didn't want to go through that pain. So once she passed away, he felt alone. So we got her Her name was Buttercup, like the Powerpuff Girls, big giant
Uh-huh.
pit bull, but she was a big softie, and she's been happy with that guy. Like, she loves the gentleman's granddaughter and his family, so they've
That's
been
great.
great. But that was really painful. But yeah, right now in my house I have 7 dogs.
7 dogs. And the reverse of that, I have one cat. His name is Neutron. He is 10 years old right now. He's originally from Arizona. He flew across the country in 2011, 2012, 2011, when I
That's
moved back
crazy.
to New York. Yeah, and he's great. But just recently, so anyway, first of all, he's had mega health problems across his life. So when he was little, he had kidney failure, like before he was a year old. And so there was a spot where
Oh
it
shit!
was like,
Really?
yeah,
I
so
didn't know
what
that.
happened? Yeah, so what happened was, hold on, I'm just closing a door. What happened was, it was right after Easter, and it was my first Easter in Arizona. So my mom sent me like a flower basket, like Happy Easter. But there were Easter lilies in it, and lilies are really, really toxic to cats. I didn't know this at the time. And so I think he may have like rubbed up against the plant and then groomed himself, and that alone was enough to shut down his kidneys. Now, usually with cats, if they eat a lily, they're going to die because it's very toxic. So he went to an emergency vet. The funny thing is, the way I found out he was sick was at the time I was playing a lot of World of Warcraft, which I still do, and it was Wrath of the Lich King, and we were raiding Icecrown Citadel. And every night we would raid, he would bother me. He would just like want to sit in my lap. He would meow at me, so on, so on, so on. But one night he wasn't. He was just kind of sitting under the desk, kind of, like not very social.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, all right. I was like, something is wrong.
Oh fuck.
And so I brought him to the emergency vet that night. I left the raid. I didn't stay until the end. I left the raid, went to the emergency vet, and they're like, his kidneys are not working. We need to flush him with fluids. So he was on IV saline for like 3 days. And Mariana, who was in New York at the time, she was like, do I need to book a plane ticket and come out so I can say goodbye to this cat? And I was like, maybe, because it's looking pretty bad.
Aw.
But he bounced back. He was okay. And then a few years later, when we were in New York,
Wait,
he
hold on, hold
ate.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. So he just recovered on his own naturally with no meds, or?
Yeah, with the saline, the idea was just flush his kidneys of the toxin,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just pump them full of liquid so that the toxin leaves. And so he did fine. Yeah, they were just like, this is the only thing we can do. There's no medicine for it. He did okay then. So then, when he was maybe 4 years old, he ate 5 yards of yarn, which caused a big knot in his intestines, and so he had to get a big surgery, which
Holy
cost
shit.
$5,000. They had to cut him open. They had to pull the yarn out, and this is the thing cats do. Like, you see cats playing with yarn.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
don't do that. So he has a big scar on his belly from that, and he has a thing about like eating. He has like pica. Have you heard of pica?
Yes.
So I think he has pica because like
Eating bricks.
anytime, like, what's that?
Eating bricks and dirt.
Yeah, like he goes after things. He tries to eat leaves. He tries to eat plants that we have in the house. He'll like try to eat the pull strings of like blinds, like window blinds. So we have to tie them all up because he'll chew right through them. So it's a huge pain. And so yesterday when we were supposed to record, we woke up, and usually when we wake up, we go Neutron, and then he runs up the stairs every morning, and we take a video of it because we're going to make a big supercut of him doing this. And he didn't do it yesterday, and we said, "Huh, that's weird." And so we found him, and he was not very responsive. He was kind of like how he was when he had kidney failure, and we were like, "All right, something's wrong. Got to call the vet." Called the vet. Called you, texted you, said I can't record.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the vet. He got blood work done. He seems better now. Like he's a little. That's why he came down here. I was surprised he was down here when we were talking a moment ago. He left now. But yesterday he was really out of it. So hopefully the vet will be calling soon with blood work, and we'll go from there. But man, pets are. It's an emotional roller coaster. Like I look at that cat and I'm like, you gotta pull through, man. Like you can't be bad. You can't be sick.
I mean, like I think most folks feel that way. To me, it's just odd when you meet somebody and they're like, it's just a dog. You know,
It's
like,
weird.
who cares? You know, like those people to me are very strange. You know, I'm like, oh, if you say so, whatever. You're wrong, but whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
sometimes I
like all
see
my dogs,
people.
I love them like my children almost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a child, so I can't compare that. You have a child, so you can actually like compare. Like, how much do I love this dog versus a child? Me, it's like this is my fur baby. This is what I got.
Yeah,
So if that cat is sick, I am dropping everything I'm doing and I'm taking care of that sick cat.
yeah, like it's incredible. Like when my dog passed away, I didn't go to work for 2 days. One
Yeah,
reason I was very distraught. I could barely sleep, and the thing was, I know the first person that will say it's just a dog, I will probably lose my job.
yeah.
So that's why I kind of like avoided work for a bit. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's smart. And like I love having a cat. I really do. And like we've talked about getting a second cat, and then I'm like, but what if Neutron doesn't like the second cat? Like then I'm like, what if it makes him upset? How did you get over that? Like I know you had Jalapeno and then you got Goomba, right? So
Yes.
how did you navigate? And you had Jalapeno for a little bit before you got Goomba, right?
We had him for about a year and a half, and he was suffering from separation anxiety.
Jalapeno was.
Bad, yeah. So we figured, oh, let's get him a little friend.
Was that from like because like from like when you adopted him from like his litter?
No, 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 no. Once he was grown, like we got him when he was properly reared. I think he was like 3 months with his mother and his siblings,
Yeah.
like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But anyway, when we would go to work and Alina would go to school, Alina's my daughter, he would just be like in our room.
Uh-huh. Oh, separation from you guys from
Yes.
like work and stuff. I see. I see.
So he would like lose his effing little mind. So
Aw.
we got Goomba. Also, as we wanted to surprise Alina, and we got her really, really good with
Yeah.
Goomba. So that's how we
Wait,
got
so how did you surprise her? Because Mariana, she every year for her birthday, she says, "Did you get me a cat? Are you going to surprise me with a cat?" And I go, "Well, I want you to be a part of the adoption process. I want you to, pick." And she's like, "No, any cat. I will love any cat. Choose one and surprise me." So how did you surprise with a dog? How'd you do that?
Well, there's this app. I'm sure you've used it. It's called Pet Finder.
I've not used it.
Was an app called Pet Finder, and it shows like local area. I think up to 40, 50 miles around you. That
Okay.
they either whatever. And so you find pets on there. So I looked up dogs, and I know my daughter really liked miniature pinchers
Okay.
or min pins, as we in the community call them.
Uh-huh.
So we found one, and we went to the Walt Whitman Mall. Of course you do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So right next to it, there was a giant PetSmart, a giant PetSmart there. It's like the size of a freaking Target almost. It's crazy. So right in the front area, where the two sliding doors are, they had there's a group called Rough House Rescues,
Okay.
and they were there. And we went there and we saw the little doggies, and it was Goomba and his three sisters. I wish I could have got them all.
Aw.
And we picked them up. And on a side note, this is hilarious. You're gonna laugh. I'm telling you. You met my wife. You know how
Yeah.
she's very meek and quiet.
Yeah.
So she's holding Goomba, right? It's not our dog yet. And this lady goes, "Oh, can I hold him?" My wife goes to his complete string. No, we're taking this dog. My,
So she made the choice.
she was like, but it's funny. She was like, "No, we're keeping it. We're taking this dog." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay. But my daughter at the time, she was gonna go out with a friend. And I made her a big plan. I'm like, "Yo, you gotta come up here. Something's going on because I think we have brought Jalapeno with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Okay.
something's going on, blah blah." So I went and picked her up, and we got to go to the spot, And when we got there, we're like, "Oh, here's your new dog." She's like, "Oh,
That's awesome.
yeah." She had no fucking clue. But then from
Aw.
there, we went and got two more dogs.
Little dogs? So that's where my knowledge of your dogs starts to get worse. So I know Jalapeno, I know Goomba. I've met both of them. So then you got two more dogs. And what type of dogs are those?
Those are Jack Russells mixed with Chihuahua, but they look like little tiny Jack Russells.
Okay.
And that is Piccolo
Uh-huh.
and Pituca. And those
Okay.
two dogs, pretty much, my daughter's friend, his dog was having puppies, and we were like, "Oh, let's take one." And he was like, "Oh, you can have any besides this one dog that they had already claimed, like a little tan dog."
Okay.
So we gravitated towards Pituca, who was like the run of the litter, and
Mhm.
Piccolo, who was what's the opposite of the runk?
The fatty. I have no idea. The chubby one.
The chubby one. So he was like the big one. So we were trying to decide between both of them, and we're having dinner as we used to do back then. We don't do it that much nowadays, but we used to have always dinner in the table like a family together. You know what I'm saying?
Uh
And we're eating, and I'm like, why do we got to pick?
huh.
I said that. I'm like, why do we got to pick?
Nice.
And she was like, huh? I'm like, yeah, why do we got to pick? So we got both of the doggies, you know? And
Yeah.
then from there, my daughter, she went and got a Yorkshire Terrier
Okay.
that wasn't a York. She's not in any way a Yorkie because she is huge.
And what is that? What do you mean? It's not small like a Yorkie?
You know how Yorkies tend to be small, like really small?
I guess I'm not really a dog person, but I'll take your word on
Well,
it. Yes.
they usually tend to be smaller, you know? But she's like
Yeah.
more like a medium. So we found out later she's mixed with some sort of other breed. I forgot what it is. But, you know.
Okay.
So we got her. And then she got knocked up. You know,
From a neighborhood dog.
by a stray dog. Because my daughter would see dogs in the street. She'll bring them in the house and try to, you know what I'm saying? That's my daughter's move. You know? So she brought him in and she left Hermione. That's her name, Hermione.
Uh-huh.
She left Hermione unwatched, and this dog went dong 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 and got her real quick, knocked her up. So when she gave birth to her litter, I felt bad giving away all her puppies.
Yeah.
So we picked the big. Well, me. It was me. We picked the biggest, most rambunctious one of the pick. We named him Gimli, son of Gloin.
Okay.
And then we had the two pit bulls.
Okay.
So that's my whole dog.
So you had a litter birth in your house? Is that right?
Yes.
How was that? How'd that
It
go?
was actually kind of cool. Like there's a picture of me. I see if I send it to you, where I'm holding all 6 puppies.
Wow. And did you have to do anything? Like, did you have to set up like an area or like
It was a little? I think we either used a cardboard box or we bought. I think we bought like a big Tupperware, like the one where you would store old clothes for the winter.
Okay.
And then we cut out a little area in the front, you know, so you could go in and out. And we lined it with towels and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
it was pretty painless, you know.
And she just like did her thing. You didn't have to like look anything up.
Yeah, my daughter did, of course, because my daughter,
Cool.
you know, she's the one. But yeah, but like it was pretty all natural, no problem. But like we broke the rule where we're supposed to keep the puppies for 3 months.
Uh-huh.
My daughter can only do like a month and a week or a month and a half.
Or else what? She would have wanted to keep all of them?
No, she was just losing her mind watching all these puppies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, how many were there? Like 7?
Yeah, including, so it was like 6 puppies and the mother.
Ah, wow. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, so my daughter was kind of losing her mind. So we think that's why Gimli is a bit insane.
Gimli, son of Gloin.
Gimli, son of Glorn.
What is this repugnant monster creature you have here? That me wee boy!
But yeah, it still only counts as 1. But yeah, so like that's my whole situation in my house, and it is insane at times.
Yeah,
like it's
but it's
hard.
cool.
Like, it is cool, but like, you know, there's a lot of cleaning involved.
Yeah, I mean, even with one cat, like I feel it's like it's cleaning. You know, it's like quite a bit of work. Do you take all those dogs out on walks, or are you one of the people who like just let them run around the yard?
Yeah, I let them go use the yard, and I'm like, whatever. They go outside and do their thing, and whatever. It's too many. I couldn't walk on all 7 goddamn.
Well, you would look like a professional dog walker with like 7 dogs.
I know. They're like, oh, can I get a business card? I'm like, Oh, and I forgot one dog. My sister-in-law, the house where I used to live in, where you would come.
Yep.
They got a dog, and the kids weren't taking care of the doggy.
Aw.
So my sister-in-law brought the dog over. She like, you hold them, and you know, to figure out. And then I fell in love with the little fucker, so we kept him. And his name was Sparky.
Sparky. I see. I think you're the one that falls in love with the dogs, because I think the story is it's like then I chose it. Well, except for Goomba, it seemed like Roxy was the one that latched on.
That's about it. Yeah, pretty much. Man. And then Sparky, we call him Sparkles.
Okay.
Because he is completely fabulous.
He's a little light in the paw.
Very light in the paws, and he is very, very fabulous.
That's great.
I call him Sparkles.
Aw.
So yeah, man. So I'm a crazy dog guy.
Hey everyone, that's our show. Right here at the end, we had a little bit of audio problems. We used Zencaster, and we had a PC restart that caused a little bit of loss here at the end, but you get the gist. Thank you so much for listening. we'll be back next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, with episode 3. So please do check that out. You can find our podcast on anywhere you can get your podcast: Apple, Google, Spotify, any of those places. Be sure to leave a voice message if you want to reach out to us on our anchor.fm page. And until next week, see ya!